Yeah, yeah. To
We didn't
L. Ron
mention
Hubbard. Yeah, that's a.
we didn't mention Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. But
I'll go
again, I don't.
Murphy.
I don't know how to split that again.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just go Murphy.
So you think he's going to beat him twice?
Yeah,
Okay. So I'll go Cedric. How about that?
sure.
Random decisions make wrestling great. Anything else from Raw and SmackDown? Since we ran
I
through
will
the
mention
card.
in SmackDown that I found it amusing. You know, I think you and I are definitely respond to pop culture references, and it's funny because you wonder how much of it is a look into this person's real life versus what was written for them. But it was funny to have Miz say, "I am not Jon Snow. I will not hesitate to bend the knee," which I thought was funny, mostly because Game of Thrones isn't on the air right now. It hasn't been on the air for a while. There'll be huge, obviously huge, everyone talking about it buzz next year. But it's like he was making kind of an old reference, like a couple-year-old reference to Jon Snow's hesitation to bend the knee.
Yeah, it was to the last season, which was a long time ago. Yeah,
yeah. So
maybe he's binging it right now. They're very busy.
He just binged it. It was like it was on his mind. Also, I'm going a week back, but Corey Graves, who I feel like we could definitely, if we ever interview Corey Graves, we could have such a pop culture talk with him. So I liked, this is a week ago, but it just made me think of the fact that he brought up Flotsam and Jetsam. He did this whole Ursula Flotsam Jetsam.
Oh, from Little Mermaid? Yeah.
Yeah. Again, you don't have many commentators that would be making references to classic Disney animated films and Mean Girls. So, Corey Graves, I thank you for that.
Didn't he?
Oh,
he's also brought up Laura Linney, talking about like Ozark.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Remember that? Remember? Yeah, Linney fan number one, Corey Graves.
Yes. I feel like, he just like, he must be binging left and right, man.
I want him to go through Laura Linney's entire catalog, back to Congo, and yeah.
What was the one she did with Mark Ruffalo?
You Can Count on Me?
You Can Count on Me.
Yeah.
It's like You Can Count on Me, Renee.
like late 90s indie hit, You Can Count on Me.
Right. It's the movie that put Ruffalo on the map. Come on.
Yeah, I'm Ruffalo and I'm in Buffalo.
Oh, I did like. I also liked during the rap battle, which could have been super cringy, but was okay. But I did like when I think it was the Usos, or was it the New Day? But either it doesn't matter. One of them made this joke. They did a Bebop and Rocksteady joke.
Yeah.
But I think it was just the way they were standing that it was like they would something about Bebop and Rocksteady. But then Sheamus was like, "I'm Rocksteady," because the way they said it made it sound like Cesaro was Rocksteady.
Well, he still is rocking the mohawk that he got back when he started because he was filming that movie.
Right.
He still has the hawk. The only thing I still have from SmackDown is Paige. Pay the Vegas boys.
Pay the Vegas boys.
So, guys, we'll recap TLC next week, and I'm thinking next week is also going to be maybe our final of the year. Maybe the next week we'll take off. So, recap TLC, maybe do a look back at the year that was, fondly reminisce about all the ups and downs of WWE. I will say yeah.
I promised a tangent at the top.
So you didn't? I just assumed it had come up at some point. Okay, go ahead.
No. And I do need to go soon, but I just wanted to say you mentioned in one of the very first things you said, you made a Skynet reference at the top of this episode.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was going to ask you if you'd watched James Cameron's Story of Science Fiction.
No.
Okay, so that was earlier this year. It was an AMC little documentary series Cameron produced that is looking at science fiction movies, really. And each episode's like focused, like one about aliens, one about time travel. Because it's James Cameron, he got like everyone on it. Like he has personal. It's funny the people that he chose to sit down with personally, which is basically the big other upper echelon of. It's like Spielberg, Lucas, Nolan, Del Toro. Probably forgetting someone else. Ridley Scott. James Cameron does like personal one-on-ones that they cut to the whole time with these guys. But then there's like Keanu Reeves and Will Smith and all these other people who do like sort of straight to camera things the whole time. Joseph Gordon-Levitt about science fiction, going and all these things. Anyway, the only thing you made me think of it because you mentioned Skynet, and there is a funny thing. Oh, that's right. Cameron talks to Arnold too, one-on-one. And it's funny seeing Cameron talk to Arnold about the fact that Skynet is everyone's reference for like technology turning on us now.
It won't always be the case because you and I are going to die someday. Sorry, Eric.
Sure.
To bring this podcast down like that, but
what a bummer. Huh?
Yeah, like my kids aren't going to reference Skynet. So there is the tide does roll back at some point, but
sure.
Right now, it was the first, right? Like it's the first robot overlords, pre-Matrix, pre-everything.
I mean, I'm sure people could point out
name.
Yeah, it is a great name. Obviously, I'm sure people can point out, no, there was this story that did this, but as far as mainstream goes, as far as like really, obviously the second movie, especially that like just exploded and became like just such a huge pop culture thing. Yeah, Skynet became, everyone knew what Skynet is. It just became a go-to reference that you can make.
I don't want to make any of our listeners who don't know what Skynet is feel bad. As you say, everyone knows what Skynet is.
Everyone knows it. If you don't, you're an idiot.
If you don't, we got two words for you. Skynet.
Anyway, although it's one word written together. But James Cameron's story of science fiction was a fun, I just binged it all in one night. And I binged it on Shudder, which I recently signed up for, which is, a horror streaming service, but, they have some sci-fi stuff too. And it was interesting to see, if I looked at their ownership, I wonder if AMC part owns them or something, because this aired just a few months ago on AMC, but they had the whole series on Shudder. So that's my pick of the week. We don't do pick of the week.
What was your pick of the week? Skynet?
Yeah, Skynet.
Skynet's my pick of the week for robot overlords.
All right, I got my tangent. I completed the circle that no one knew I needed to complete of you saying Skynet an hour ago.
Well, I do know that, I'm glad that you get to go about the rest of your day with a sense of closure. You don't have that loose thread that's like sort of nagging at you. Thank you, everyone. We are on Twitter at the Matt Fowler and the Eric Goldman. The podcast is on Twitter at WEW Podcast. And everything is possible, but nothing is real. Cut to Chrisley, which they have been doing. It's been happening after SmackDown. There's old Chrisleys.
Classic Chrisley.
And Shakma.
Just have a good time. If you use handcuffs, have a spare key, okay? Jesus, we do not want to go through Thanksgiving again. Hey, if you need me in the next hour, I'll be at Whole Foods.
Okay.
Alexi, open my fucking door!
We enjoy wrestling.